Going to be going over how to launch STATA and how to create a do file. So if you have a Mac, go to your Launchpad, click on STATA. Alternatively, you can open STATA through applications. If you have a PC, don't have a lot of advice for you, but I'm sure you know how to launch an application. It's going to potentially ask you for updates. I'm just going to say to check the next time STATA is launched. So to orient you to a couple of things here, STATA has always has a results window in the middle here, so that's where you'll see all of your results. There's a command line across the bottom here, a review tab on the left that shows a list of commands, and then on the right there's a variables list, which will become more clear as you import data. Across the top, there's a series of menus, drop-down menus. So with File, it looks fairly similar to what you might see in Excel. You'll notice that there's an import as well as a changing the working directory. So we'll talk about that in just a little while. Similarly with Edit, then you'll notice there's this Graphics drop-down menu, which you can explore later in Lab 4, etc. So the first command I'm going to run just to show you what commands look like is a command called set more off. And this is the set more off command is a way of allowing results to cycle a little faster in STATA. And so since I typed in the command line, you'll notice that it showed up on the review tab here, labeled 1, with the command set more off. If I wanted to, I could click on this command line and highlight it and then enter, and it would run the same command. However, we're going to ask that you run your commands through a do file. So a do file is a text file that enables you to annotate your analytic plan, and it's a much easier way of both replicating your analyses as well as collaborating with others on certain types of analyses. So you're going to create a do file through clicking File, New, Do File. A text file should show up. It should look sort of similar to, like a notes window if you have an iPhone. It should have the highlighted top rung is yellow. And for the purposes of this class, we're going to ask that you create a header. So I'm first going to create annotation. You do \***. And for this class, we're going to ask that you have your name, the date, the version of STATA that you're using, the title of your do file, as well as the purpose, whether it's the purpose of the lab or the analysis. And then you close your annotation through creating an asterisk and another \\\. So the do file should have a certain organization. I typically like to start, and we would ask that you start with a set preferences section, followed by a data management section, followed by a analysis section, and then you finally want to save your data. So this is a good way of organizing your analytic thoughts, for lack of a better term, and it's a great way of making sure and checking that you're doing the appropriate steps. We're going to spend most of our time in the probably in the analysis section, as the majority of the data sets you'll get in this class have already been managed. But it's important that you sort of understand the basic building blocks of an analytic plan within the do file. So in terms of setting preferences, right now we are going to set, sometimes you can set more off here. I typically like to include clear, so this is a way of clearing the previous results from your STATA viewer, so you start with something fresh. And then I'm going to type CD. So CD is a working directory, so that lets STATA know what file you should be using in your on your desktop or in your documents. And so I'd recommend that you set a specific folder to host all of your course data sets and all of your STATA data sets for PH139. So I have this, and I'm going to type this do file. Alternatively, you could go to File and either go to File Name, in which case this would open up your desktop and you could click on anything you want, or you could alternatively just change your working directory here and see if I wanted to change it to PH139 Summer 2017, choose. You'll notice that this shows up in your commands folder, and then just to put in your do file, I would highlight it, copy, and put in your do file. You realize it's the same thing that I had written before. So in a do file, why a do file is great is that this allows you to catalog and keep all the commands that you run even as you quit and open STATA multiple times. So to run something from a do file, you simply highlight. So I could highlight clear, for example, and then you click do in the top right-hand corner. It's thinking about it. Great. So you'll see that it did whatever was in my do file and it cleared. So now I want to set the working directory. So I'm going to highlight CD, users, etc., and click do. And now my working directory is set. And so as you can see, the results window is creating a log of what we're doing. And that each time it goes through the do file, you'll notice that there's this end of do file. So to finish up here, I'll save as a demo underneath my PH139. And now we're all set.